Hi guys, this is Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. I'm so glad that you're here today. I am going to be playing today with the Day at the Beach. This is the Spellbinders Die of the Month for July 2022. I just finished up with the large Die of the Month, which is this fun food truck, and today I'm going to be playing with this one that is all beachy, and this is adorable. I absolutely could not resist getting this one. So what I'm doing so far, and you can tell I already started playing, I have cut out some of the bathing suits. This piece cuts out a little bathing suit for our beach person, and this is going to be her body. So I've already cut out a few of the bathing suits. Now some of these I already have as double layer because I decided to try out and use some of my scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive and go ahead and just try to cut it with a bit of a backing on there. I always have trouble cutting through any kind of double-sided adhesive. Not sure exactly why. So I've got 2 bathing suits already done with that, and I've got 2 more over here that I need to adhere down to my backing because I wanted to have it, you know, a little bit thicker than just regular pattern paper. Because I wanted it to be a pattern paper kind of bathing suit. I mean, yes, yeah, they could do boring like I do and do solid, but a tropical bathing suit would look a bit cuter, and I think this is turning out really, really cool. I mean, I love that. I also decided to do the same kind of thing with the beach towel. So I've got this piece here that I've cut out. It does have an extra backing layer on there, so it is a bit thicker than just the pattern paper, which is what I was wanting to go for. And then I also cut out this second piece out of a different pattern paper. Now I still need to adhere that down. And the dies do have their embossed lines, so you'll know where to place them. And oh, this goes on that end. Durr. So if you're looking at the back, it's going to be the mirror side. Don't do like I did and think, why is this not working? Okay, so I've got all the pieces on, and it did make an interesting beach towel. Not sure it's one that I would sit on, but anyhow, I've also cut out these little pieces from this die that create little tassels for the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere those down as well. And that's just a cute little detail that was added onto this die set, and I think that is pretty cool. Spellbinders always gives us those nice little details that we can add to our cards. Okay, so now my beach towel is all done. So I am going to ink blend my background. I'm going to go with some yellows for the sand, and I'm just going to use some distress inks here. I'm also using a piece of paper just to mask off where I think that my sky is going to start. It's going to be mostly covered by our little ladies, so it doesn't really matter if it's perfect, but I do want it to be pretty much straight. I'm also not pushing my blending brush up into it or too much anyway, and I'm going gently because I don't want it to really make a big mess over there. And so far so good. It looks pretty good. So I started off with this one is Scattered Straw. I'm going to go back in with some mustard seed, I think, make it a little bit darker. And I think I may also go in with a little bit of browns too. Concentrating most of the color up at that horizon line. And I think I'm going to use just a little bit of vintage photo in with this as well. Now I'm going to do basically the same thing and position it covering the other side. I'm going to leave a little bit of a line right at the edge, and that's so that I hopefully won't miss any of that white space. Concentrate some of the yellow right in the center there. I'm going in with Squeeze Lemonade this time, kind of where I would expect the sun to be. Okay, next what I'm going to do, and I probably should have done this first, but I'm going to put this Sunray stencil. This one is Sunburst, is a stencil from Spellbinders. And again, I'm going to go back over that center area and try to kind of just come out from that center Next, I'm going to go in with some orange. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with some red a bit higher, and then I can go in with some orange. But I think I'm also going to use some smaller brushes instead. I'm going to use, I would say Candied Apple, but I think that's a little bit too bright. So instead, I'm going to go with Crackling Campfire. Okay, now that I've got the yellow and the red down, I'm going to go back in with some orange. And for the orange, I think I'm going to use some carved pumpkin right in the middle of those two. Yeah, that I think is going to work out pretty good. And it should help to blend the two together. Just doing a little bit of melding, you know? So now we've got our sun colors. Now we need some sky. So for that, I'm going to come in with some blue. So I think I'm going to start off with some Speckled Egg. And I can already tell that I do want to have it darker than the Speckled Egg. So let's go a little darker than that. I think I'm going to go with Salty Ocean. Chipped Sapphire would be a good one if it was like getting really late. But I think this one's going to be closer to the time that I'm looking for. Although I may come back in with some of the darker color closer to the edges. So I think that would look kind of cool. Okay, and then I'll go in with a little bit of that chipped sapphire along the edges. And as always, I am just experimenting. Okay, so let's take a look and see what that looks like. I do think that that is pretty cool, but I also want to have some of the colors in those white spaces. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold these down, put my mask back in place over the sand. Here we go. And then I'm going to come back in very gently with the ink that is still on my brushes and go over some of that area. Because I don't want it to be too dark. Let's get some red. This time I am going to get some more of this yellow and just kind of bring that all out. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to say that that is my sunset. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of water. Because this is water reactive ink. Okay, so that looks kind of cool. And this time I'm going to put down a little bit of my DIY Perfect Gold. So that Perfect Gold just means that it is Perfect Gold, Perfect Pearls that's in this bottle of water. Because I think for doing splatter, I really need to take off the lid and just add a little bit on that way. And another way that I think is going to work better, but I think I just put a little bit too much on there. Okay, so I've got way too much of that. I don't really want to waste any of this. I'm going to try to pour some of it back into the jar. And it actually worked. Oh my goodness, that is awesome. But I do need to refill this. So I'm not 100% decided on how everything's going to be placed, but I do love the way that this panel turned out with that little bit of gold shimmer there. So that is awesome. I cut out 3 bodies to go with my 3 swimsuits and 3 hats and a couple pairs of flip-flops and a bag. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting all of these little bits together. I wanted to use most of what's in the kit, in the die set, so you guys would have a chance to see kind of how everything goes together. So let's go ahead and put together our little bathing beauties. Just going to add some adhesive to the back of her swimsuit and then add this to the body. And everything lines up perfectly. It's like these straps go right up to the top and then everything goes right in place. So we've got our first person, and of course we need to put her arms on there as well. And I am going to put the shoulders where that's, you know, where it attaches, of course, up at the top of her, and have those come in pretty close to her. So there we go. From one arm we get the other, and I'll do the same thing on this side. And I'll go ahead and put together the little hats, shoes, and her bag. So I did cut out the hello out of one of the hats. There is also a smile die, so you could have a different sentiment. And I decided to use 2 different shades of blue just because I like blue. I figured that it would go good with the beach towel, even if it doesn't match their outfits. I mean, I don't know about you, but my outfit never matches anything else that I'm bringing when I go to the beach because, you know, I usually have just one bathing suit that I go with. And that's even living in Florida. There is a ribbon or scarf that goes along with the hat. I chose not to use that on this card this time, but you could always add that as an extra embellishment for her hat. So you see, that's kind of how her little hat goes. Okay, so for the bag, there's a separate die. You've got a bag die, and then you've got a separate die to be able to decorate this. Plus, the little handle is on the die that makes the strap part of the flip-flops. So I cut those out of some of the medium blue, and I'm just going to attach those down onto my beige-ish bag. And you can always add some additional color to this if you wanted to, you know, some ink blending or marker shading, whatever you want to do. So I'm putting that piece there so it looks like that the inside of the bag is in that pretty blue. And then we've got a couple of stripes to put on the outside that match as well. Okay, next I'm going to put together these little flip-flops. And I made 2 pair so that they use both of those colors. They have a contrasting color for each. You get what I mean. I did 2 different colors so that they would match, but they would also be a little bit different. Okay, so now I've got everything pretty much put together. I cut down my panel so it's a little bit smaller than my A2 size card. I'm going to start off with some foam tape for the back. So I'm going to mount that down on my panel with some foam tape. And I'm adding a little bit of that art glitter glue just to be on the safe side, so I've got that little bit of wiggle room in case I place it down not quite straight. Go ahead and adhere her beach towel down. And I think I want to go with the one with the big flower on her suit. So I'm going to put that there, but this one I'm also going to raise up on some foam. Okay, that is lovely. And now we've got her little bag over here. So now I think I'm going to put a pair of her shoes inside as well. Now there's a slit up at the top, and that was where we put that extra little piece of embellishment to do the color for the inside. So I can slide her shoes right inside the bag there. And then I will just glue the whole bag down onto my card. And I think I want some foam on this one too. and I'm going to have it, I'm putting it tipped over because you know what? That's what happens to me at the beach. I never have my stuff where it's supposed to be. My stuff always tumps over. And that just means that she is relaxing and not really paying much attention to the rest of it. Kind of makes me think that I need to have a cell phone kind of tumped out off to the side too. Oh, I am loving this card. Let me see if there's anything else I need to add. Okay, so I pulled out a sentiment from the Stamp and Die of the Month for this month. I will leave a link down below, including the name, because of course I forgot what it was. It does have a popsicle, so I think it's Have a Chill Summer. Anyhow, I pulled out one of the sentiments that I had stamped and die cut out of that set last week, I think it was, and this one says Sunshine and Good Times, which is perfect for this. I'm going to just add that to the front. And I'm also going to add some little gems to the front of the card too. I mean, yes, the gold is probably enough, but I think I need a little bit more sparkle. You know how that one goes. And so I pulled out a mix that I haven't really used much. I've had it for probably year and a half to 2 years from Trinity Stamp, so I'm assuming that it is still available. If it is not, I do apologize, guys, but I would just say use what you have. This one is called Fortune Teller, and it is some really pretty little white, almost clear little dome pieces, and there are different sizes in this set. Kind of looks like little dewdrops or something of that nature. So I've got a few there, and I'm going to bring it on down to her. Add a few more. I think I'm trying to use multiple shapes on here, or rather multiple sizes. I think that is going to finish up this card really, really nicely. There we go. So that is going to finish up this card. Be sure to check out my blog. This is also part of a blog hop for the Club Kits of the Month for the month of July 2022. So go ahead and hop along. Go to all of the hoppers on the hop. I believe Spellbinders has got a giveaway involved as well. And you'll get all of the details over on my blog. The link again is going to be down below. You guys have a wonderful day. Check out this playlist to see some other projects where I'm using Spellbinders products, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.